outright ban here. Well, we actually have two conflicting laws. So, anyways, welcome to Shit Persian Girls Say, episode 4. But I'm going to let Lana make a big announcement, and then we will get started on our topic today, which is what OnlyFans stars really think of their subscribers.
Yeah. Well, my big announcement is that this podcast is going to continue on without me, except on maybe some occasions that Jazmen wants to have me on as a guest. And the reason is because I just don't really have time between my OnlyFans page and I'm a single mom, and I have had a long time goal that I was going to have my own little tax firm. So I have to start studying for the exam for that. And then the work behind it is going to be tremendous. So
yeah,
my own though, not working for other people.
We're definitely going to miss her. And hopefully she'll be able to be back on periodically. I am definitely going to continue this kind of stuff. I will also be moving on to YouTube and still doing Twitch. I'm probably going to do once a week of a podcast type episode like we've been doing. It'll probably be a little more organized since it'll be just me instead of having a conversation. I might just bring up discussion points or things I'm thinking about or whatever. And then I'm still going to go on another day of the week and just have it be casual. So bikini stuff at the pool. Although I tried to do that this weekend and it wouldn't work on my phone. It kept saying starting and it just wouldn't start. So
I wonder if you get a Bluetooth camera, if it works from your phone too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
So
I mean?
I'll play around with that. But the podcast isn't going anywhere. We're just going to lose half of our team here.
Yeah. But honestly, I basically only comment on the stuff you talk about. You're the one who puts all the work in to do all the research on all this stuff. So
no, I think we definitely both contribute, but I think I'm more passionate. I'm more passionate about this stuff, and Lana's passionate about different ventures. So, especially being as time constricted as she is, being a single mom, also needing to focus on platforms that are going to bring her more income off the bat versus Twitch and stuff like that. So I think for her, it's what she needs to do, and we support her.
Yes, I'll still be doing my TikToks, maybe even IG lives sometimes, and then also on my private page, my lives, which have been kind of on hold lately. So starting next week, I should get back into that routine of going live. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And then hopefully Jazmen will find time to still do her personal podcast with me that we had from before, where she just leaves.
I will always have time for that. And I'm going to be hitting all this stuff even harder. I'm going to be doing YouTube. I'm going to be and I'm going to miss Lana a lot, but I was always worried that there was stuff I wanted to talk about that Lana wouldn't be interested in. So now.
Yeah. And there's stuff that you really dig deep in that I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm interested. I probably am going to be a viewer.
Hopefully.
I can.
We are going to miss her, but you definitely, if you're not following her IG already, make sure you follow her IG because she's going to be really active on there. I am too. I'm still trying to get my main IG back. I'm on my backup right now. I am also going to be doing TikTok, posting on Reddit, all of that. And obviously my OnlyFans page, I have so much fun stuff planned for that. I still post. I posted 4 times today already. So you're not there. But the topic for today is, what do OnlyFans stars really think of their subscribers? There is so much false information or false narratives being shared about us and what we do. And I think there's a stigma on what we do, but then there's also a stigma on people that support us and buy content. And we can talk about where some of that comes from and stuff. But first, I think it's a really good opening to talk about Lana and how she even started on OnlyFans and who her first subscriber was. So Lana, take it away.
So yeah, a lot of people wonder like what got a person into doing OnlyFans, which we kind of talked about like the motivations before, but I actually had not even heard of OnlyFans like in the middle of or it was like the beginning of the pandemic, right? Is when it got really.
You started a little before me. I started in 2021. I wish I started during the pandemic.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't even take it seriously. I honestly didn't make anything of that then.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, I actually found out through someone like I dated, and I was like, what? And then later on, like months later, I was like, oh, let me look into that because you like mentioned it again. I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, I started a page because of him. He was my first subscriber, and these 2 years later now, he's resubscribed. Like, I mean, it's like we know each other on a personal level, but I think people have a misconception about the type of guys that subscribe to OnlyFans and
Or
think
that we, yeah, like Lana dated somebody that, like, there's definitely one of the misconceptions about subscribers is they're these, and I didn't think this before, but before I started OnlyFans, I thought the age, like, people always think creepy old men. First of all, most of our subscribers, like, you have to realize old men are not tech savvy. Like, they're not on Reddit and TikTok and and on places that they can find OnlyFans stars. What do you think like your demographic is for age?
mine.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's like probably like the most like the whole
I would
range.
say between 20s and 30s is where the bulk of our subscribers are. We do get people in the 40s, and obviously you have to be 18 as the youngest, but I thought like, oh, this is all just like 55-year-old men or 60-year-old men, which again, nothing wrong if you're that age and doing it, but that's what I thought like, and that's not the case at all. Most of them are
We need
around.
more of those though. We need some more like older men.
Yeah, I think they
that?
should be joining. It's just we don't have the advertising ability via social media to hit that crowd because a lot of them aren't using social media the way we are. Like they're
Silver
just
singles.
we would have to put like ads out in like, I don't know what people use. Like, I have no idea. But yeah, there's this idea that, oh, I feel men would make fun of other heroes or long term. Yes, yes. And I love this topic. I'm going to do a whole podcast episode on where this idea comes from. Alpha male, beta male, why, and again, this ties into these Andrew Tate types or whatever that perpetuate this simp culture. Don't be a simp, blah, 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 blah. And I think that is a big part of it. Men shame other men for using this. The men that do that are highly insecure. A lot of times they do secretly subscribe to all of this stuff. And the reason they're doing that is because they're trying to cope with themselves. They're not happy with themselves. If you're not doing things because you're worried about what other men are going to think of you, that's where the problem is. Because men that are confident, men that are, they don't, even if they don't personally, like that's not their thing, they don't like announce it to the world or shame other men for doing it. When somebody's doing that, you need to look deeper and be like, why? Like I see that all the time on TikTok. I would never pay for this. Why are you announcing that? Why are you explaining yourself?
Yeah,
Confidence.
Like, all right, let me describe the person who got me into this because he's a subscriber. Not a beta male. I'll just give it, okay. He is very confident. 6'6", arm wrestling champion, good looking, smart. I mean, that's not even like what everyone needs to be. I'm just saying, like, people look up to guys like that, like they're, like the Andrew Tate, right? What's his name? Right, like people would look up to this kind of guy, like he's alpha, he's big dude, he's got confidence. like
normal. You guys, everybody consumes this type of thing. In fact, like I said this on another podcast, but these men that have a bunch of money or whatever, they're spending the most money on women. Whether it's online or girls over here buying them expensive things, it doesn't make you a simp or a beta male to buy content. It really doesn't. And this idea, well, where it's free, so you must be a simp if you buy stuff. No, people like a lot of these men that spend a lot of money to fly girls out have women around them too. They pay because they want a specific thing. It's like saying, well, you have cable at home, why pay for Netflix? There's all this free content that you could watch online. Well, I want to enjoy the content on Netflix too. And it's, if you're okay with yourself, if you're confident in yourself, if you see something and you're like, oh, I want to see more of this, and you don't care in your head of what do these, and again, the men that are calling you beta males are beta males. I promise you. Alpha males are not sitting around calling people beta males. They're off being out. They're off being leaders. They're off.
Fuck what anyone thinks of them.
Yeah, and they don't even engage in this kind of internet content of like, who's an alpha male, who's a beta male. I mean, look at where this stuff kind of originated. It originated in like the incel communities, which are a group of men who get 0 women. That's the whole point of their community, is they're involuntarily celibate. They started this lingo. This was not started by men that are out being great, wonderful men. These were not started by the greatest revolutionaries of our time. These were not started by the greatest world leaders. This kind of language originated from the bottom ranks of society when it comes to men. And these are the men that eat it up. These are these men that are insecure. So they're like, oh, okay. And they think of everything in these dominance hierarchies and all of that. And we see more extreme versions of them in some communities, but then it does bleed up and then it becomes this shame. You pay for content online, you must be a loser. You must not
like
get
you said
it.
Before, every man pays anyways.
Yeah. And
what's the difference of paying online for a membership to like OnlyFans versus like paying for that like Tinder Gold? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
I mean,
and
you're still online searching for women. You still haven't grown the balls to go and walk up to a woman and get her number.
And let me tell you, these men are lying to you too, because you don't know how many, because I have subscribers that tell me, oh, people in this forum are like talking about like leaking your stuff. And sometimes I prosecute, sometimes I don't, depends. But I'll go in the forum and a guy will be like, oh yeah, I have her, she gave me a free subscription. I have never given a man a free subscription. So guess how insecure that guy is, that he's in another group with his like other angry, sad, very insecure butt buddies, and he's lying to them to try to make them, the lowest ranks of men in society, think he's a little bit cooler than them because he didn't pay for it, even though he did. He's lying to them to be like, oh yeah, she just gave me a free subscription, guys. You guys think of how horrible his internal, like how, like I feel bad. Like, there's no way someone can put their head on a pillow at night and feel good about themselves when they have to do that. When they have to lie to other losers to be like a little bit less of a loser in their eyes. But he knows deep down that he paid and he got, like, it just blows my mind. And these are, so when you see these comments, and I can tell you over and over and over again, I see a comment, that guy's in my DMs. I see a comment, that guy's in my DMs. Do not listen to these men that are calling you names, because they are 100% engaging in that same kind of conduct. They have self-hatred. They hate themselves, and they're trying to project that onto other people because they're unhappy with their own decisions and they're ashamed and they're all those things.
And what's really the difference? Like, okay, let's say this, let's say guys, I'm sure they have porn stars that they watch regularly. Like they like that specific porn star.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference except in if it's an OnlyFans girl, that person is just, works for herself. That's the only difference. And she can interact with you and communicate.
With you. We like do video calls. We go live, all of this stuff. I think there's a reason OnlyFans has become a very successful platform. It is not a successful platform because beta males are the only people on it, and they are just rising us up, which doesn't even make sense because they're the ones that are actually in all the forums calling each other beta males. Again, so like shaming each other. So we do see a variation on the type of subscribers that we have, and I want to go into detail on that. I think, like, knowing me and how much I'm obsessed with human behavior and stuff, I have felt like OnlyFans for me has been a great window into this and seeing how people engage when it comes to sex and their sex drives. There are people that are very ashamed of being on OnlyFans and buying content, and they'll delete after, or, you know, that could be partially because of post nut clarity or whatever, and then they'll come back and they hate themselves, and then they come back and they hate themselves, and you really see, even when you engage with these men, the insecurities that they have. And when you wake up the next morning and you feel ashamed of what you did the night before, that weighs on you. That's going to weigh on you. So think to yourself, why am I ashamed? Should I be ashamed? Did I do something shameful? Okay, I just subscribed to somebody on OnlyFans and purchased content that wasn't hurting anybody. Like, and people are like, these girls don't care about you. They only want your money. Not true. In fact, our best subscribers are not necessarily the ones that pay the most amount of money. In fact, those very insecure men that are dealing with their internal demons and they use OnlyFans, they actually spend the most money, but they're not necessarily our favorite subscribers. We definitely care more about you than all the other subscriptions you're paying for. We care about you more than Netflix cares about you, I promise. So there's just so many misconceptions when it comes to this. There's so much shame for women that decide to do OnlyFans, which we've talked about in the past, but then there's also shame on people that decide to support us and decide to be, oh my God, you guys are simps because you're paying for content. You guys pay for our food, you pay for our drinks, you pay for our lives. Men pay for women. That's been the way of things for a long time. So unless you're not taking women out on dates, unless you're not financially supporting women when you get married or whatever you do, paying $6 for a subscription or $7 for a subscription, that's the lie. That's what makes you a beta male.
Those are the worst ones, though. So these are the ones that we can't stand, is the ones who do pay the $6 for a subscription, and then they think like you got to bend over backwards, sideways, forward, twist yourself in a pretzel for them. That's the craziest shit. It's like, dude, you spent, $6 in 30 days.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're just going to get all this free content, all this attention?
Yeah.
And not pay it for anything else? Like, I'm supposed to put all my effort, all my focus on this person who paid $6 for a whole month. Those are the subscribers that we don't like.
We don't like those subscribers. There's a variety of subscribers. Our favorite subscribers are not the ones that spend the most money. They're the ones that engage and interact, and they want to support you. And they're the ones that you can tell they're cool people. I'm not saying I would ever meet up with any. That's another thing, is people respect boundaries. That's another way to be a good subscriber. But they're okay with themselves. That doesn't mean that everything in their life is perfect, but they don't hate themselves for doing something that they shouldn't hate themselves for supporting a content creator, for letting out their sexual whatever in a healthy way, for engaging with us, for all of this stuff. Those people are normal because they're not logging off and being like, oh shit, what, oh my God, I'm such a loser, I'm such a this, I'm such a that. That's what these guys online are telling me, even though they're all secretly subscribed too. If you're one of those guys, then again, I feel bad. I hope you can do the self-work to feel better about yourself. Again, if OnlyFans and this kind of stuff isn't for you, that's fine. But if you have to declare it, if you have to go online and call other people names because of it, there is more going on there. It's always the case. I've seen it time and time again, and it doesn't take a lot of critical thinking to figure that out, right? If you don't like bagels, you're not going to get on a bunch of bagel sites and be like, I don't buy bagels. I don't buy bagels. That makes you a loser to buy bagel. You're a loser. You're buying a bagel. Why are you supporting the bagels? They don't care about you. The bagel doesn't care about you. Like, No, something's wrong with you. Like you either want like more out of content creators that they're not giving you, and so you see women, and this is what the incel community is, so they see women as these evil, terrible beings. They don't even call us women, they call us voids, female humanoids, because they want something out of us that we don't give them. Yeah, they call us, you're not allowed to call women women, you call them female humanoids.
So the voids?
Void, yeah, that's what they call us. If you defend women at all, it's called white knighting, and you get kicked. And they take it to the extreme. They hate their mothers. They hate all women because they feel like they want something out of women, like intimacy that women aren't giving them. So they
issues.
They malfunction, and to a lesser degree, much lesser degree, that is what these men are doing. That get like, I'll have somebody give me a compliment on a post, and someone will comment under it, simp. Guys, I cannot begin to tell you what is going on in that guy's head, how unhappy he is, how unsuccessful he is with women. He is not sitting there with an abundance of women or in a happy, healthy relationship where all his intimacy needs are met. Because people that do that are not going to, one, go on other girls on TikTok's posts, go scroll through the comments, and if someone's giving them a compliment, go try to shame somebody for giving another person a compliment.
I know, like, where do they even think I'm gonna use up my time? Like, I don't know about, I mean, I know about you and me, like, my time is so precious that if I don't like something I see online, I literally just keep moving. That is it. I don't say anything to anyone about it. Like, I mean, maybe if it's something like radical or something, I'll like tell a friend in person. I am not writing about it. I'm not
or if it's something that is actually like, if somebody writes something crazy racist or something that really is hurtful to others or whatever, if you're just seeing girls online and you're angry or you're upset they make money off of it, or you know, whatever, and you feel the need to, you have to think about what possesses someone to write that comment. That's what you should. I always, when people always ask me, this is a good tip for test taking. I always did amazing on tests with very little studying because I didn't focus on what I need to know. I focused on what is the test maker trying to test. Not what is the answer to this question. What is the test maker trying to what is the answer they want? And why are they writing the question like this? What are they looking for? Same thing when it comes to when I read comments or when I go through interactions. What made the person write this comment? No, look at what the comment, that's surface level. What does the comment say? Whatever. Why did they write the comment? So when you look at hate online and these hate comments, look at why would that person write that? You know, what possessed that person to write that? And this society of men that think like that they're upset women don't give them the attention that they give other men, and so they're like, well, yeah, it's because we need to be alpha males and we can't be beta males. I can guarantee you all of those men, it has not worked out for them. Trying to copy Andrew Tate has not worked out for them. None of this has worked out for them because they're still in our comments trying to shame other men for doing the same thing that they are either doing or they want to be doing. So I think that like I see a big variation in the type of subscribers I get. There is a big portion of subscribers that just subscribe and they buy content and they don't say anything and they don't engage. Those are perfectly fine. You know, they're just interacting with the content. And I would say that's probably the majority for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, most of my subscribers are very sweet and very nice and supportive and understanding. Most of them, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would actually say, like, people are like, oh, you probably deal with creepy men all day. I actually deal with more creepy men, like, out. Like, a lot of our subscribers are
for sure.
Respectful. Yeah, so respectful, so sweet. They respect our time. These are great men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, we're going to talk about the ones that have issues, but the vast majority of them, they're either better than average, or I would say even the average OnlyFans subscriber is very polite. Okay. And here's another thing I will have noticed. Their grammar, their spelling, all of that is much better with people that actually subscribe to OnlyFans than with people who write in the comments how much they hate us in OnlyFans. I would be curious if there was ever a study on education level and how much money you spend on OnlyFans, because one, you maybe have more money to spend on OnlyFans if you're more educated. But I would say that I see the education level and the social skills and all of that go up the more they buy. The people that are angry at people who buying, they always misspell your. They don't know the difference between there and they are. They have all of these issues, which again may contribute to why they are on among the lower ranks of
financial struggles. Like we don't, I mean, it's not like we just discriminate at people against people with financial struggles, but this is not, and I've told people before, like this is not, you know, if you want free stuff all the time, like this is not the place for you.
No, it's not the place for you.
It's not. I mean,
it should tell you something.
Yeah, like the subscription alone, it costs money. And we try to put out as much, you know, we try to put out like good content for that.
I have thousands. You can literally check before you subscribe. Thousands of pictures and videos that you're getting, and I don't raise my price ever. We go live all the time, all of this. But it should tell you something that people who subscribe to OnlyFans, these beta males that people are saying, can actually punctuate. Meanwhile, these alpha males all in the comments that are calling you beta males because they're not actually alpha males, can't even punctuate. So again, think about when people, there was like, I'm going to talk about this more, but because of evolution, okay, we are very tribalistic creatures, and we think we want to be liked because back in the day, if you were kicked out of your tribe, you would die. Nowadays, you still need a tribe, but you can choose your tribe. You can choose whose opinions you care about. You can choose the group of people that you want around you and to listen to them and whatever. Comment, like, it, don't let people's, like, we definitely deal with a lot of hate. And I look at, like, do I want them to be should I care what they think about me? Do I want to be liked by them? No. In fact, trying to be liked by them is going to negatively impact me, my career, all of this. And who are they? Are they even people that I would give the time of day to in real life? No. Because they're trying to get my time in DM secretly. And so it's the same thing. So all the men out there, if you are like, oh, I want to, you know, if you feel like, oh, I really want to subscribe, but, you know, and you feel in yourself, oh, I'm embarrassed or I'm ashamed of this, think of why. Why are you embarrassed, or why are you embarrassed because you have a sexual need in general? Are you embarrassed that you watch porn? If so, then maybe think about why you're embarrassed you watch porn. If you're not embarrassed you watch porn, but you're embarrassed because you're subscribing to a girl's OnlyFans, where does that come from? Where does that come from? Like, why are you embarrassed about that? If it's because of this stigma that society has created, think of who in society has created this. You know, there's also, like we talked about before, there's this hate. I think this is part of the hatred that society feels for women who can make easy money, that they say, even though we will talk about it's not easy money, and that women shouldn't be paid for this, that this kind of shit isn't valuable. And that's why we get subscribers that come and they want all this free shit, and they want to tell us how much our content is worth. No, you don't tell us how much our content is worth. We tell you how much our content is worth. You make the decision on whether or not you want to purchase it. You don't go into a store and say, no, that TV, I want that TV for $200. Not your decision, you know? So it's crazy how people are like, no, you know, you shouldn't be selling nudes for this much. You should be selling it for this much. No, if I want to sell a nude for $500, that's what I'm going to do. Are you looking at comments?
Oh, yes. Should we read through some of the comments?
Like, you've got a lot of content on Reddit that is free. Well, that's the thing. That's like promo, and it kind of makes me upset when people are like, oh, bro, there's so much shit on Reddit. The way I work with Reddit is I make 2 to 3 new Reddit posts a week. That's it. And the rest of it's recycled. On OnlyFans, I drop new content 1 to twice a day. I go live. I put out those videos. Even if you don't buy those videos, I send like a series of 9-10 screenshots from the video that are very explicit. And that's all for $6.99 a month. So if you're on Reddit and you're waiting for my Reddit post and you're excited to see my Reddit, why wouldn't you just pay a little bit extra and get a catalog of thousands upon thousands of videos, pictures, everything, you know? So when people comment on Reddit, like, why would I subscribe to your OnlyFans? There's new shit on free. That's great. If the 3-second clips is all you need and that is it, then that's great. But again, why are you commenting that? Because there's more going on there. There's more going on there. Like, and then always I do this. I click on the person's profile. I go through their comments on who else they commented on because I'm very interested in the way people's brains work. Those guys are commenting negative shit on so many women's posts. Again, probably because they have this hatred for women because women aren't giving them what they want. I'm embarrassed not because of corn, because I'm married and this is a substitute for one of the rewards of a relationship. Okay, so there's things that so you may have a deficiency or you may have something that you see as a deficiency and you're using this as a way to cope. Is this a bad way to cope? No. You're getting content, you're getting that void filled, and you're supporting a woman that's working hard to provide you with that service. Why is that something shameful? And again, there are many men, like Lana was saying this, some of our subscribers are hot as fuck. Right, Lana? Sometimes I'm even on my Snapchat particularly, I'll like, because your stories pop up for me and I'll accidentally click one. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I'll realize it's a subscriber and he's actually very attractive. And I'll tell you this, the attractive subscribers are never ashamed to be on OnlyFans. Never. I guess it's because they feel like they don't need to be. People who feel like they need to be are the ones that feel ashamed. But a lot of people that are there because they just like women and they like content and they see a hot woman and they're like, oh, I could see more for $5. Sure. It's really not that deep. You don't need to think about if you're a loser now. You don't need to think about all that stuff. You choose to think about it because you're letting other people influence your decision. But in general, when you want something and you can afford it, you buy it. Right? That's how it works with like anything else. But with this, there's all this stigma. And again, it's different for our subscribers than it is for us, but it's the same for us. You sell your body online. Oh my God, you don't respect yourself. And then it's my job to be like, okay, I heard you. So let me think about that. Do I not respect myself because I do this? What does respect mean to me? Does respect to me correlate with modesty? No. Okay. So then your opinion's irrelevant. What happens in a subscriber is being rude or demanding or whatever, someone we should link. Okay. Boundaries. This is our job. Okay. We're not on a dating app. I think the vast majority of us do not meet up with anybody. So again, I always tell people when they ask this, I'm like, you're on the wrong platform. This isn't a dating app. Go download Tinder. We're not here to meet with
it's against the terms of service to talk about meeting up. So like if someone starts saying that to us, like we usually warn them, like, you can't even say that here.
You can't say that.
There's a reason you can't say that because it's not meant for that. This is an online thing only.
Check some, if you're looking for an escort or if you're even looking for a friend. I tell people that all the time when they're like, because again, the $6 you pay to get a catalog of my really explicit content, that is what that's for. If you want to engage with me in like a thing, that's fine too. But if you're like, hey, how was your day? And I'm like, oh, it's good. Cool. What'd you do? Oh, I did this. Oh, how can I help you? Oh, I'm nothing. I just want to talk. I'm not sure. I'm not call your mom, call your friends, call whoever. This is our job. All the time I spend interacting with you, I'm losing out on money because I could be doing things like, I could be making a YouTube video. I could be doing another Twitch stream. I could be responding to some other comments. I could be making videos. So respect our time. Also, if we both work really hard to get back to you as soon as possible, I'm pretty good at getting back to you within a couple hours usually, but sometimes I'm busy. Don't send me 18 question marks.
So basically what happens when a subscriber is being rude or demanding is they get restricted.
Oh, they get restricted. And for me, it's restricted and insulted. Because if I'm sorry, Because if you want to behave like that, I'm not just going to restrict you and not give you something to think about so you go do this to the next person. I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? It would probably benefit you to find some hobbies or find something you're passionate about so you're not sitting here harassing women online. Maybe you could go on a walk. But for them, in the meantime, I'm going to restrict you because I don't tolerate this on my page. And I think a lot of women, I know Lana struggled with this, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries, again, our goal, my goal, number one is not to make as much money as possible. There's this misconception that if you're on OnlyFans, you just want money and you will work with anyone and you will do anything. No. In fact, it's the opposite of me. I've had so many guys like, oh, I'm just trying to buy. You're going to miss out on money. Absolutely. Absolutely, I am. I'm picky about who I work with. I don't just care about the money. I care about my mental health and I care about making money, as much money as I can, while protecting my sanity to the greatest extent. So if you're fucking with my sanity, I do not care how much money you're going to pay me. Bye. Plain and simple. I have a rule. If you negotiate my pricing, I put my pricing in my menu. If you try to say, well, can you do this? I'm a first. No. Restricted. Bye. That shows that you don't respect my time, and that shows that you don't respect what I do. Because this isn't a flea market, okay? This isn't, the bazaar in the Middle East where it's not a haggling type of situation. Yeah, Lana, I don't know if you want to add anything to that. So yeah, we do have the subscribers that the unhealthy things I see that I stop that too. And I'm very honest. If you pay me to rate you, I will rate you. If you keep asking about it, I'll be like, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't think it's good for you. This is low confidence behavior. And people message me. They're like, oh my God, an OF girl has never said that to me before. I can't thank you for your honesty. I'm like, yeah, because my goal, which is one of the reasons I started this podcast, is not to milk as much money out of people that need help as possible. If I see that you're unhealthy and you need help, even if you keep sending me money, I will stop it. I won't enable it. I don't enable unhealthy behavior. That may not be the case for every OnlyFans star, but that is the case for some of us. If you are seeing this as something like, oh, maybe we could get married, maybe we could be in a relationship, maybe I'm like, stop right there. No, that's not what we're here to do. We are content creators. We're not here to date you. We're not here to be your emotional crutch. We're not here to be your physical crutch.
Yep. So do you want to get more into some of these questions?
Yeah, when a customer is rude or demanding, or when customers are on there and you can tell they hate themselves and they hate you, but they have a natural human urge that they haven't reconciled with yet internally, and they're rude or they're demanding or any of those things, it's done. But I will say that is not the vast majority of our subscribers. The vast majority of our subscribers are great. Some of them are interactive and they respect your time and they don't harass you. And then some of them just, message you, hey, can I buy some videos? Can I buy some more long, like 10-minute video? What do you have? And they're, again, I am shocked at how much better their spelling, punctuation, grammar, attitude is over the haters on TikTok or wherever. Yeah, as long as you're not getting obsessed with a performer and guarding your own emotions, it can be a really gratifying and healthy experience. Yes, it can be. We all have. Why do you think sex work is the oldest profession? Because there's always been a need for it. In every society, in every time, in every culture, people needed this outlet. And even nowadays, where, with hookup culture and everybody can go, porn is still being consumed on a mass level. And what we do is in the adult industry. Like on porn sites, you can upgrade and get special content. All of that. There is stuff that's for free, and there is more premium stuff, or there is a specific content creator that you want to see that you just pay extra to see. Really not a big deal. But there's men in society, again, a particular group of men that have turned it into this big deal because they don't want Women don't give them what they want, and now women are profiting off of stuff that they can't even get. That so they're upset, they're angry. I think a lot of it does come also from some internalized sexism. I think if men, I wonder how different it would be if like men were in charge of OnlyFans and they had girls and they were the ones messaging guys like, hey, because you could subscribe and pay whatever and you have all these girls' nudes. I feel like some men would be happier doing that than to feel like they're simping to a woman that is running her own page,
Yeah, I think subscribers are just as diverse as the male population is.
Of course,
you get every kind of guy.
You get every kind of guy. You get some creeps, but you also get some very, very successful, amazing, attractive people. And again, what I see is the more attractive, normal they are, the less ashamed they are of OnlyFans and the less they behave
True.
poorly towards us. And I will also say, I do see do you see this with you too? Because I actually spend a lot of time interacting with fans. I say European, where sex work is more open and it's not as shamed in Australia. So my fans out of the UK, Europe, and Australia, I see less of this. I see them more open, more free. They're not ashamed. They're not ashamed. They're like very happy to be there, and they seem like chill, wonderful people. And a lot of them sometimes are super attractive. I see US that a little bit, but sometimes to a lesser degree, because we do have a little bit of more shame and stigma around sex here than in Europe. But then in the Middle East, I definitely see a lot of shame behind what they do, and that's really sad. And I think that's why we need to break some of these stigmas, because there's no reason that men in Europe can do this and enjoy it and not feel ashamed, but you feel ashamed because of your surroundings. I want to hear Lana talk more. Me too. I don't know what she wants to say.
Just.
What about Canada? I'm from Canada. Canada's better too. I don't get as many from Canada as I get from Europe. I don't know why, but I do get some.
Oh. Good point.
Probably just because Canada's population is not crazy big. I don't know. I just made that up.
Do you want to answer this question?
I don't see a question. Oh, no, it's not. But it's It's a big chunk of it. It could be. I make enough on it that I'm able to rely on it, but I don't think it's a good idea to ever have one source of income. So I try to diversify it as much as possible, but I would say it's my main source. Especially if you also count like I have my OnlyFans, I run a Snapchat, and a lot of people pay for that on Cash App or PayPal or Zelle. I take payments from all those different places. There's not a lot of protection in place for us on OnlyFans. If I ever do an episode on things I want to tell new OnlyFans girls, it's that save as much money as possible. Pull your money, because OnlyFans has been known to just freeze people's accounts and do all this stuff you never want. And we don't have protections in place against stuff like that, even when people are making their living off of it. So Canada's population is as big as California. Yeah, so exactly. So I don't see as many people out of California as I see out of Europe, like UK, France, Germany, like all of that together. I just see more because there's just way more people there. But I do actually get a lot of Australia too. I don't know. Maybe I blew up in Australia. Or maybe the times I post, because sometimes I post like really late. It'd be like a better time for Australia, like my promo stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Australia it's better earlier. I only know that because I have one of my longest subscribers lives in Australia. So.
All right, let's see. Any other? The two of you should look into street technology or with viewing the stuff in different way, not letting any of it get to you at all. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I love just learning like mental checks, mental ways to not let it get to me. For me, it doesn't get to me. Like it doesn't get to me. It's just interesting because I think it speaks to bigger issues that we have. What does get to me is the way we're treated by platforms and laws protecting us. Like we talked about this a couple weeks ago, rights, not rescue. I'm really big on that. But when it comes to the hate comment, no, they're not fucking with my bag. They're actually helping with my bag. Platforms like TikTok are actually fucking with my bag. So that's when I get upset.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look into that.
Porn and masturbation addiction. I see that comment. That's definitely a thing, and I think some of that comes from the stigma that I'm talking about. I see, like I said this before, but sometimes, and I'm not kink shaming, but you see that some of these crazier kinks come from cultures where sex is super repressed, or at least the way they engage with those kinks, super shameful, super whatever. Then they delete everything and they feel ashamed. Versus you see those same kinks coming out of subscribers out of Europe that are super open about it. Hey, would you mind doing this kind of role play? Would you mind doing this? They're super open, they're super whatever, and then you see like somebody out of a more repressed culture being like, hey, like, are you okay with this kind of like role play? And they're super ashamed and embarrassed. I think sometimes that can definitely create an unhealthy relationship with sex, and an unhealthy relationship with sex can lead to addictions. But I also think other things can, you know, like addiction can stem from so many different things. And maybe for some people, they go to gambling. For some people, they go to drugs. For some people, they go to porn and masturbation.
yeah.
Doesn't mean that there isn't a healthy way to drink. It doesn't mean there isn't a healthy way to gamble, and that doesn't mean there isn't a healthy way to buy and engage with porn and OnlyFans. But some people do have issues with it.
Yeah. Mm. I think all in all, though, we appreciate most of our subscribers, and we actually genuinely like some of them. So
Yeah, genuinely. I have one guy who
some are
started
here.
a while ago, and he's religious. And a couple days later, he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, like, I don't think this is good for me." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But we still actually talk, even though he doesn't. When he was buying my content, or he obviously compensated me for my time. He was very sweet, very nice. But once in a while, he'll be like, "Hey, how's everything? Checking in." Like, there's this conception that we're like, "You're not paying us. Fuck you. Bye." And there's also this
Some
idea that
girls are like that, though. They just
girls
don't.
are rude. That's what people think. We're rude. Well, you have to understand what we deal with. We deal with thousands upon thousands of comments of people trying to waste our time. So our default position in our heads is that you're trying to waste our time and you're annoying. That's just what it is, because so many, and not, less so on our actual pages, more so on places like Reddit or whatever. I am rude. I am like, don't message me hi. I don't have time for that. I'm going to ignore you. I'm just going to send you a link. Why are you messaging me? Let me know right away, because I have thousands of other comments and DMs that I have to get to. And I leave my DMs open so that I am able to engage with people. But and people get offended when they message you hi and then you're like, here's my link. And they're like, rude. And I'm like, this is not a dating app. I'm on here to make money. This is my job. I'm not here so you can message me hi and then I message you hi and then you message, like, that's not that's not what this is.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of that, but we don't have a lot of time to do a lot of that with one
Yeah.
person.
You if you're a long time, if like I feel like I know you a little bit from you subscribing. I do like to see what's going on with you guys. I do like when people are like, hey, you know, this is the dream I'm pursuing, especially when it comes to podcast stuff. I love hearing about how our podcast has affected you, what you thought about it, stuff like that. But there's just comments on Reddit that, like, DMs I get every day that I'm just like, one, do you want to trade? No OF star wants to trade with you for free. I'm sorry. We're on the internet because a bunch of people want to see our shit. That's what we're here for. We're not here to trade with you. Okay, do you want to make content together? No. If I want to make content with someone, I'll reach out to you. Again.
If I
ever want to make content with somebody, you don't have to send me a DM on Reddit. It's a waste of your time. And just because you have a lot of time to waste, which some of these people clearly do, doesn't mean you should waste it. Don't comment. Don't message people like, hey, can you send me something for free? You know everybody's going to say no. Go do something better with your time. Don't do something that has a 0.00001 success rate. I'm all about taking opportunities and risking things, but not things that have a 0 chance of success over and over and over again. That's called what? Insanity, right? Doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. Some people in the DM world don't understand that. I'm 19.
No.
Asking us that. Let's see. I don't see a ton more comments. What's DM world? DM world, I would say, is messages we get on Instagram, Reddit, anywhere where people didn't already come to your page. That is where you see the worst, because like I said, by the time people subscribe to your page, whatever, you kind of filtered out a lot of whatever. But Instagram in particular, like, people just hi, I will block you. So waste of your time. But what's going on in your head? Why are you messaging somebody 80 times? Hi. Like, is there a cognitive, like, sometimes I'm genuinely like, oh, there must be some type, I feel bad. I'm like, must be a disability. Why would you do this? Like,
a lot of people need to get a life and get off the internet at least sometimes. We all spend time on the internet, but just when you're just on there with really like nothing to do and no reason, just to stare, just to say, do that. It's like, you need to do something with yourself.
Yeah, those are.
Get off social media.
There's some stuff that I think is deeper and probably requires some medical help.
It's also just so addictive now too.
Yeah, I think that porn and all of this stuff has an addictive nature to it, but so does social media.
More than so much. I would say that TikTok is more addictive than porn.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm not really addicted to porn, definitely. And social media, I don't think I'm addicted to social media, but I am addicted to my phone. Like, I consume content. I watch my podcast, my YouTube videos, my whatever. Like, I don't think I could be without my phone for a while. Which isn't good.
Well, we all need that moment away from our phone. It's just, maybe like a weekend in the woods in a cabin.
See, that gives me anxiety. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to really get into meditating too. I'm struggling, you guys. It's not, my brain is very overactive. It's hard for me to be present. It's easy for me to like rationally think through things and not let things get to me, but to actually sit there and be present. Like, last time I tried to meditate, I randomly was just like, I've noticed that like a lot of times reptiles are like seen as like the villain in all these parts. Like why? Like I know they look meaner, but is there something? Is it because they're reptiles and we relate more with mammals? All of this while I'm supposed to be. I was like, oh shit, okay. Back to the present. It's very hard for me. I'm working on it. So like going out into the woods by myself, I right now could not see it as a peaceful experience, but
could be a start of a horror movie.
yeah, it does sound like the start of a horror movie. But it doesn't have to be. It depends on the vibe.
So, since this is my last episode, is there anything else we should talk about before?
Have you ever met a guy from DM or only meeting them in real life school? I will not, no, never, ever ask us to meet up with you. The answer is no. Very clear boundaries. Most of us have it in our bios. And so when you still ask, you just seem predatory and you seem creepy. That's what makes you seem creepy. It's not creepy for you to subscribe to us and buy our content and treat us with respect. That's not creepy. It's creepy if we say we don't meet up and you keep being like, well, please. Ew.
But oh, okay. So have you ever had someone on there that knows you? Like you didn't invite them to your page, they found you?
What do you mean? Like in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had people that have found me on all my socials before. And these are men that I know in real life. So normal men do go on this stuff, you know. Are you weary about meeting someone new because they might want to go out with you because they know you have an OnlyFans? No, I feel like I would sense that really quick. I don't know why somebody would want to go out with me just because I have an OnlyFans, unless they were to assume that that means that I am more likely to be like sexual with them. But I think it would take 5 seconds of talking to me to realize that I'm less likely to go out to do anything with you than a normal person. So it's actually, for me, I don't have casual sex. I can count the amount of men I've had sex with on one hand in the past 4 years. So it would not be, I don't know why else they would want to go out with me just because I have an OnlyFans. So far, my experience is that people just, they don't see it as negative or positive. They're just like, oh, okay. Like it's a job, like anything else, right? Do you want to go out with somebody more because they're a physical therapist? Do you want to go out with somebody more because they're, you know?
Some people are like,
can I be on your, yep. We get those comments all the time. Waste your time.
Start your own OnlyFans. Okay? Don't piggyback on my success, okay?
Think before you write something to us. Is this a waste of my time? Is this a waste of my finger strokes? If you think the answer is yes, then don't waste your time.
Yeah, I do have guys
our time too, but really just 2 seconds for me to hit ignore. For you, you had to chat, you had to type it. Like, come on.
Yeah, so what else? Any other questions, guys?
Before Lana leaves us forever.
Yes, I have to focus on.
Please still DM me
stuff.
Things you guys wanted me to talk about on this podcast. I know I've talked a lot this time because I think Lana was going through comments, so she was, I don't know, she was doing something. Let me just scroll through really quick see if we addressed everything that I wanted to address. I feel like men would
no.
If it wasn't for the money, would you still be doing OnlyFans? So Lana had a quick no. For me, if there was no money in it, I would still do stuff online, but I probably would. I mean, it's a business. It's like saying to a restaurant, would you still run this restaurant if you made no money out of it? Like, doesn't mean I don't enjoy it, and it doesn't mean I would still do this podcast if I made no money.
We wouldn't have time to do it because we would be busy working.
Exactly. Now I have to figure out how to make money. So why would I just come home and then be like, let me, nobody would think about, would any of you still be doing your jobs?
Let me provide lots of content for free to all the men in the world because they need it. Oh, I might have to miss work today because I'm going to make content all day. Oh, I got fired. I got fired. I forgot fired for showing my tits online all day instead of going to work. Now I'm homeless. Like, no one's
just
going
think
to do
that
this
question. Think
money.
of that question when it comes to any other job.
And that is why it's like
it's not seen as a job. People are weird about it. People are like,
the
"Oh,
whole
you
like
shouldn't be doing
having
it."
respect for yourself. Would we, if we knew, like, okay, let's say in your case, especially, you know, like you've been doing this, making, you know, really good money. I've made pretty good money too. Like, would you say, it's like, okay, I respect myself so much that I know if I do this and I show my boobs online, I can make 20 grand this month. And I respect myself so much that I'm gonna give myself that. So that's kind of, I don't know.
Let's say money never exists. Now, what hypothetical world where money isn't real? I mean, you guys, now you're just like changing the foundation of the world. Like, if money didn't exist, we wouldn't have anything we have because people create businesses. We wouldn't have our iPhones if people didn't think when they created iPhones that people would, you know, we wouldn't have innovation. We wouldn't have entrepreneurs. We wouldn't have anything.
You would still
I am definitely not a, you know,
you would still have some sort of currency.
Person, but
You would still have some sort of currency. Like the currency could be like
gold.
back in the old days.
Yeah.
We may not have money, but we will trade potatoes or whatever.
Yeah. And every society, for as far back as I'm, like, you know, pretty far back. I don't know about, you know, we don't even know exactly the Neanderthal era, but there's always been currencies. And so to just be like, well, if there was no money, what would you be doing? I don't know. If there was no money, how would, like, where would we live? We just all build a house somewhere and
we'd be probably busy building our houses.
I know. Are we going back to hunter-gatherer times? That's the only time I can think of where maybe people didn't have, like, even then, I'm sure there was, I don't know much about it. Again, I don't want to speak on it, but trade a potato to iPhone sounds like a fair trade. Yeah, I don't see that being a practical question because you would have to be going super far back. And even then, I don't even know if there was absolutely no currency. People traded, people did all kinds of things. The world will not work without some type of currency in order to exchange for goods and services. Otherwise, we're just all going to be fighting each other to steal. And then I need to worry about survival. I would not be doing OnlyFans if the world was fighting each other for resources.
Why
no,
I don't know what this is, and then I don't know what debating means.
Why are you debating?
Different
at a different angle? What? Clarify the question and we'd be happy to answer it. But yeah, I will still be doing this stuff. I will probably have more organized episodes once a week. And then the other part of the week, it won't even be like a podcast, but if you just want to hang out with me.
You're going to do hot tub streaming, right?
I'm going to try to do hot tub streaming. I'm going to do like just hang out with me. I'm thinking of starting just like Jazmen rants because I have a lot of rants on random things throughout the day that I rant to either with Lana or my friends or myself. And I'm like, maybe I'll just hop on Twitch and be like, how come, I don't know where I live, if it's after 10 p.m., I feel like there's no food. All I can have is fast food. I'm like, why? And I want to like yell about it. Maybe I'll do that.
It's where you live, that's for sure. Because I felt that way when I was living where I used to live.
In California? In California?
Yeah.
You can do in real life stream too.
Yeah. That's what she means.
Yeah, I'm just gonna figure it out, and then I will start a YouTube channel and do like a bunch of different stuff on there too. Still gonna try to work with TikTok, but we'll shoot
TikTok. Yeah, so this is my last episode. It was short-lived because I realized I was really getting sidetracked on my goals, which my goal is my tax firm, and to keep being able to do OnlyFans, of course. But Twitch kind of it's a lot of investment of time that I don't have. So Jazmen's going to continue on without me.
This is
And
either in. Oh, sorry.
you guys can catch me on my TikToks, on all my social media, just not Twitch.
This is either an elaborate troll or I don't know what this guy is doing. I don't know if he's trolling and trying to spell things really terribly because of what we said earlier. Journalism.
If
he is serious, this is a great case in point. If he's serious and if he's trolling, then cute, because it does still illustrate. These are really the kind of comments that we get.
You were just talking about these comments, and they can't.
Yeah, I was literally. This is how it is. Look
at why
everything is spelled. Look at how it makes no sense. These are the majority of hate comments we get.
Why is this so entertaining? You're entertaining a lot of people with your funny.
So it looks like they were muted, but I actually want the comment up on the screen. The last comment that they did. Yeah, guys, this is exactly. So I don't know if this person's trolling and they're trying to type like this, but regardless of whether or not they are, this is literally what we see. This is a caliber of writing we see from hate comments versus, like, we have some really great ones in here. Hazard Stint is a great one, and he messages me too. He's very intelligent, excellent communication skills, excellent grammar and spelling, and he is very happy to be on OnlyFans and support us and engage in these kind of conversations. He's not ashamed of himself. So again, look at what people are exhibiting and be like, do I want to be like them? Do you want to be like this? No. So don't pick this as your tribe. That's what I'm saying. Pick your tribe. Jazmen, can you speak Persian too? Yes, I can. New partner or solo podcast? I'm going to do solo for now. I'm going to, maybe down the line, I'm going to get some other people on. I may have, if I feel like it's just better to have this back and forth type of conversation, I might get another person on that wants to focus more on growing social media versus other ventures, like Lana does, because that's what I want to do. I want to grow social media and use my degree maybe in conjunction or in other ways, but I don't want to go back to making income from law. So I'll be here. Alrighty. I think that's all. Make sure you're following us on our Instagrams.
Any other questions about what we think about our subscribers?
Yeah, we still have a little bit of time to answer questions. I know the time we come online is really random because everybody's at work. So I get a lot of engagement after the podcast episodes.
Yeah, and then when you're doing it alone, you can go on whenever you want because we have 3 hours different time
difference. Yeah, so I know a lot of people can't make the actual thing, which is, I'm gonna ask, maybe do polls on what time is best for you guys for me to come on. Now that I'll be doing it by myself, what day of the week? You said you prosecute people who leak your content. Do you do it yourself? Do you yourself do the prosecution because you are a lawyer? So there's different. So prosecuting is like a higher up level, and I need to know who you are. So sometimes I can find that information out. Sometimes it takes a lot of work and a lot of money to find out exactly who you are, and I have to think about if it's worth it for me to spend all that. But we just do the DC digital copy? Yeah. MA takedowns, and I work with 2 or 3 companies because OnlyFans sucks. They do it too, but they suck. And I know how to do them, but I just pay companies that can scan the internet and do them for me. Sometimes I personally go in and I let some stuff stay up because it's good promo. And a lot of the stuff that's leaked is super old. Like, I had a big leak August of, I didn't even look the same. I was 20 pounds skinnier, 25 pounds skinnier back then. I literally, my boobs were smaller. I still had the same whatever, but I'm like, okay, if people want that up, that's fine. There's actually one subscriber that I'm actually working on prosecuting right now because he has come on my page, and it's only been one PPV, but for me, it's about the message. And he's been, and I have figured out who he really is, and I will be serving him. Can talk about Iran. There is war. That can be a podcast for a different day. I mean, I think I have an average understanding, well, average for a second generation Iranian on what's going on there. But I don't have like an extensive knowledge on the politics in Iran, to be honest. It's hard to when we don't have accurate information being, through our media and through theirs and through the people in Iran. I think that the people over there, I want to do an episode where I talk about things I love about my culture and things that I don't like about my culture. And one of the things I don't like about my culture is people there. They need to listen to some of my podcast episodes on other people's opinions and critical thinking, because over there, they just like, literally, you'll be like, hey, I want to wear this shirt. And people be like, oh, no, wear this shirt. Oh, no, do this. Oh, do that. Like, people there just love to give their opinions on everything most people, here's why you shouldn't care what people say. Most people are full of shit. We're all full of shit. None of us have the answers. Nobody has the answers. We are all navigating this life together. Nobody knows better than you. Nobody is smart. No one knows the answers that you don't know. They may think they do. They may tell you what they believe in, but they're not. You don't know if they're right. They're not more qualified than you in this life. They don't know what you don't know. Just trust yourself, guys.
So this, based on like the question about Iran, the thing about Iran that everyone knows is it's ran by a religious group.
Theocracy.
So so what you get with a religious group is all those restrictions of that religion. So being a good government, I think.
Oh, it's definitely not a good government.
Requires separation of religion and politics. So that's why
you need but it's not even just that. There's so much corruption. There's no checks and balances. Like, I know we have a lot of issues in the United States on our institutions and overreach of power, but if you compare it to places like over there, they don't have like a 3 branches of government. Like, they don't have that. It's basically it's a theocracy. It's extremely it's really sad because it doesn't reflect the views of the people. So I think, especially in the West, because of what we're fed, people think that, oh, this is what the people think. And then they show you like just the crazy scenes of they show you the movie Argo, and they show you just people in the street like, death to them. Like, that's not the majority of people. They're showing you the crazies. That would be like other countries thinking everybody here is a Proud Boy, because they watch TV and they watch these rallies and they think that all, like, when it's like, no, that there are some people like that, but they're far and few in between. If you just come to America and you're just visiting from another country, you're not even going to run into a Proud Boy. Like,
it's the same. If an American goes to another country, a lot of countries don't like Americans, and they also think we're all freaking dumb cowboys. Not that cowboys are even dumb. There are dumb cowboys. There are dumb accountants.
There's this idea that some people have that the United States, that everybody loves us, everybody wants to be us, no, we're not. Like, yeah, in fact, I mean, a lot of people think a lot of those things about us, and we as a country have not been the best to the, like, it's not like we have been following rules on human rights and just being the example of a great nation when it comes to, we've invaded places we shouldn't have invaded. We've we're not respected in the world, guys. Don't let America, woo, like, I'm not saying hate your country, but also don't think that don't think that you're on a pedestal because you're from America, because a lot of places don't actually Opinions and Saul Good. I'm gonna watch Better Call Saul. I have not watched it yet. I've heard it's one of the greatest shows of all time. It has amazing. I know it has amazing everything, but I hear it has a slow start, and because I don't have a lot of time to watch TV, I feel like I'm never in the mood to watch something that has like a slow. I'm like, oh, I want to watch something like engaging.
Did you watch? Well, I don't think it has a really slow start. I mean, maybe some people do. Maybe I just don't remember. But you should watch it. And did you watch How to Get Away with Murder?
I did watch How to Get Away with Murder. I didn't love it. I think it's just too. But HBO shows are a lot better. So my favorite show ever was The Wire on HBO. They're just a little bit more. How to Get Away with Murder was very like, and it was a cable show. It was on a.
Yeah, but I liked it. It was exciting.
It really gave that vibe to me. I know that Better Call Saul is supposed to be a lot of a.
Breaking Bad is a must.
Did you watch House of Dragon, the first episode?
No, is it good?
Yeah, I feel like, and I never read the book, so I actually watched a YouTube video on like what you need to know before you watch it, because it's set like 200 years before Game of Thrones. So I kind of like had that little background, but you don't even need it because they do a good job of explaining it. It's only been one episode. I think it was a good like setup, but I don't know where the show's gonna go. From what I heard, they kept their best writers from they like got rid of the people responsible for the final season, and they kept the people that were responsible for the good seasons of Game of Thrones. So
yeah.
Did you watch Breaking Bad? That's a must. Yes, I have seen Breaking Bad. I did like it. It wasn't like my favorite show of all time. The Wire is my favorite show of all time. There's even some shows that like wait, is Breaking Bad AMC? Who did Breaking Bad?
Anybody know that? I don't know.
I think it was AMC that did Breaking Bad. AMC also did Mad Men, right? Mad Men is one of my other favorite shows.
I tried The Sandman. I didn't have a lot of time to pay attention to it. It's like up my alley. I love dark fantasies. So I'll try to watch it again. It seems really interesting. It's really confusing though. It like honestly, if I don't sit there and hear every word, I don't know what's going on. So
Mad Men and The Sopranos, yes. Really great shows. In general, I like HBO over Netflix. I haven't seen Narcos. I might like Narcos on Netflix, but I don't like Stranger Things. I don't like The Crown, and I love historical dramas. Like that's my favorite thing ever. And The Crown was just so boring to me.
I love historical drama. So did you see The Other Boleyn Girl?
Yes.
One of my favorites. And
Elizabeth. That movie, right?
Yeah, and Elizabeth. Okay. That's the one about Queen Elizabeth. With
have you seen Tudors? Because that's like a show on Henry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good show. I like that show.
That one was good. Henry.
Vikings. I like Vikings.
Vikings on History Channel was really good, and I don't care if it's not historically correct.
Yeah.
Okay? There's this big debate between Vikings and what's the other one?
Last Kingdom.
Sorry. Yes, The Last Kingdom. Everyone's like, well, The Last Kingdom is more historically accurate. And I'm like,
really? Yeah. Because the main character in Last Kingdom wasn't even like a real. Well, the thing is, it's really hard to be historically accurate when it comes to Vikings, like folk, like Ragnar. We don't know that much about Ragnar to like be able to give you a really accurate storyline.
I haven't been able to get into that Rome
HBO show. Unfortunately, got canceled. I have heard Rome is really good. I do need to start that because that is exactly up my alley.
Can I do what?
What? I don't get it.
I'm only leaving Twitch. I'm not leaving.
He's not leaving online world. Yeah.
Platform. So if you think you're gonna miss me, you're not. I'm still gonna be around.
Yes,
especially if you're on my OnlyFans, then obviously.
Yeah, she's actually gonna be able to put more time into that, I think, now. So she's gonna be coming out with more content. I'm pretty good at making sure that. But I work a lot, guys. Like people think I don't do anything, and I'm just no. I work at least 40 hours a week, at least, usually more.
Yes, because you're always on your phone. Being on your phone usually entails like some form of working, and So
yes, I need to have my content. I drop 5-minute length videos on my page every other day.
Bugs Bunny? I. All right, you guys. If you want to ask me to do anything for you, me personally, you got to come onto my private platform. That's the only place that I really take requests. Definitely not on our shared podcast, and usually not. Yeah, just that's what that's for. That's the whole point of having it.
I've also been telling Lana that because she's like, all these guys are now like expecting. I think part of the responsibility is on us, and then part of the responsibility is on you guys. Respect boundaries. We're not here to, and I think when girls just do whatever people say online, it gives these guys a sense of power that they've literally never had, and they don't know what to do with it. So I don't play that. I do not play that. I have a rule actually on my OnlyFans lives that everybody's free to watch, completely free to watch as soon as you join. If you start commenting things for me to do and you don't even have a tip sign by your name, you get kicked off that live and all future lives, because I have no interest in creating a fan base that actually, because I do enjoy OnlyFans. A lot of girls don't. I enjoy it, and I think part of the reason I enjoy it is because I have curated my fan base and set those boundaries in place, and I have chosen to be picky with who I work with instead of trying to make as much money as possible. Because if you try to make as much money as possible without looking at the base that you're building, then it does turn into something you don't like doing. So sure, I'll lose money.
I like it. I mean, I just I have to do what's allowed on the platform. So
yeah,
I still do my like. Whereas before I was like getting away with doing these like naughty try-ons on TikTok, and no, I don't. I won't get those old accounts back. I didn't get away with doing it for very long, and then people were getting mad if I couldn't go live, which that's just stupid. Obviously,
yeah.
This is not like I'm on anyone's time except my own. But I can't do those naughty lives on TikTok. It's not allowed. So it's not allowed anywhere. And it makes the most sense for me to be compensated for showing all that stuff. So you want to see that? I still do it. I just don't do it on any other platform except my OnlyFans. So.
Yeah. And if she feels like it, she'll do. A lot of times, like, people on TikTok will be like, why don't you put your link in the bio? It's hard to find. Why would we want to make you jump through hoops if we didn't have to? Like, TikTok doesn't let us put our links there. We have to. I mean, we're getting in trouble as it is, like, you know. So I'm shadow banned from going live right now on every account I can go live on. So TikTok is the worst, but it is still such a good platform for growth and getting in subscribers that we kind of are all forced to use it. But any of you tech savvy people out there, come up with an app that has the reach of TikTok, and don't be egregious like psychos that are trying to just steal all our data and be asshole. I've also heard, I haven't had this experience on TikTok, but from what I've seen and read, they seem to discriminate against people with darker skin. They don't push out their videos as much, body types, stuff like that. That makes me really upset. I don't like that. So, and they're just sketchy, and they're run by a sketchy company, and the Chinese government has all your info as soon as you sign up for it. Please, somebody come up with something better than TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Jazmen, teach us some bad word and purge. Are you like, because I see you constantly on here because you like, I'm assuming you are Persian yourself. And I don't have any interest in teaching people bad words. And like, that's just not something I'm passionate about doing.
Maybe she'll do a podcast where she does some Farsi lessons, because she was going to do that with me, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who would love to know some good, useful words that they could, you know,
I do want to
say without being, you know.
I do want to do favorite things about my culture and least favorite things about my culture, because I think like with any culture, there's a lot that is good and there's a lot that needs some work. And same thing with American culture. So I think that multicultural people, we kind of get like, if we use it right, we can kind of take the best from both and get rid of the worst from both. So that's kind of what I try to do. I think there are really great things about how invested people are in their families, Like we talked about this last week, people aren't lonely there because they interact with their neighbors. There's so much love that people have in their households, which is why you see in a lot of these countries that they have nothing. They're like struggling to survive. This isn't necessarily the case, I think, in Iran, but in some other countries, and they're still not. They don't have the crazy depression rates and everything people have in more developed countries, because when you visit those countries, they are surrounded by love. Like there's just so much love in like the air. It's weird to say, but they have like bigger families and everybody kind of just, you know. But then there are some things I don't like about. I feel like community is non-existent in community. Yes, and I think this is a big contributor to why we have such high rates of depression, anxiety, these things that are terrible, like, where, and it almost seems to be, people call it a disease of the privileged. Like, oh, I'm depressed, I have anxiety. We see a lot of people that are living like they have everything they need. I think part of that contributes to it, because if you're not struggling to survive, then, now it's like, okay, well, what is my purpose? What is this? What is that? And what are my relationships look like? And when those things aren't healthy, it can cause some of this stuff. I think it's really interesting how we had that new, I don't know if you heard about this, Lana, but there's been some new science that's come out that's saying depression actually isn't linked to a chemical imbalance in the brain. I haven't read up on it yet, but that's really interesting to me, because I always thought that for some people that was the case.
So are they saying for nobody that's the case?
They're saying they're not finding that the research
But they
supports
said
that.
this for so long. Are they now like?
Yeah, I have to. That's why I want to look into it some more, because it does seem like now they're saying that that's not the case. I was listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago about happiness in general, and how there is actually a 50% of it is genetic. There's a highly genetic component to it. So I think that there are some people who have a genetic predisposition to maybe depression and some other things. I'm just guessing. I'm not a scientist. I didn't even look into this very much. But then there's still that other 50% that can be very affected by community. The work you do you feel like you're serving others? Faith for a lot of people contributes to happiness. This is coming from an atheist. So you don't have to believe in a particular religion, but you have to believe in. So for me, it's just intellectual growth, intellectual stimulation. That to me kind of, my desire to want to learn that and feed my brain in that sense is kind of how I get that part, without having. But if you are religious or you do have a faith group, something to lean into. Community, definitely super important. Like I said, your life should be like a pie, and you need to like have, okay, friends, community. That, I think that is something that can definitely help a lot of people.
And reach out to people. Like if you're sitting there just waiting for everyone to reach out to you, you're probably going to wait forever. You're going to be angry that, oh, why aren't they, just do it. If you say, tell people what your needs are. I need you to call me more. If it's like your friend or your family, like I need to hear from you more,
Community. I talked about this last week. Stop being afraid to join clubs, join organizations, I'm somebody that I am very, and I like hate doing that. I force myself. And now I have pole dancing at 6. I cannot wait.
Yes, and I have my TikTok live coming up. Back to my dress try-on. So doing that as soon as I get off of this live. And that's going to be on Lana Loves 2, like the number, play. So
follow her Instagram if you don't know. Gugush is a very, very, very prominent Iranian singer. I don't really listen to her. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like my.
That's like classic. That's just like,
yeah, my parents love her. They've gone to her concerts. I don't really listen to Persian music.
Have you heard of?
Yeah,
that's one of this group that I like. Before I go, I'm gonna just. It's like it's like they do Persian and. What?
Yes, pole dancing is amazing for getting in shape. It's very hard.
Niaz. Do you know Niaz? Niyaaz?
No, I don't know. Like literally, I don't listen to Persian music, but I hear it all the time. When I was growing up, Black Cats.
And I don't even speak Persian, really.
My mom would play the Black Cats album in the car on the way to school. There's like so mehmunis are Persian parties. There's like the mehmuni hits that would be played all the time that I would recognize.
Oh yeah, I love those. Persian people love to party and dance.
Yeah, what is it, Ebi?
I don't know. I talk about
my aunt is really like, she'll play it for her grandkids a lot, and like they're like 5 years old and they just listen to all this old Persian music, which is really cute. Okay,
so that's the. I'm gonna have to get going.
Yes, me too. I'm hungry. I need to order food. Get through.
So it was a pleasure, and we'll see if I'm
gonna go get a new phone to see if I can go live on TikTok on it.
Remember to run over it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I have to go. Have a busy day, but follow us on our socials, and I will be back on Monday for a podcast episode alone. Trying to decide what I want to do it on. If you guys have any things you like me talking about more than others or suggestions, please send them to me. There's a high probability that I will talk about what one of you guys wanted me to talk about. So, yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, it's been fun, and see you on my OnlyFans, I guess.
Or mine, yeah, or TikTok, or anywhere else that we may be. Did you ever do that podcast and pool idea? I haven't. So far I don't even know how to go live in a pool. It didn't work. So bear with me. The technology stuff. YouTube too. I need a better setup for YouTube. So I'm gonna work on that, which for me is like, it's like decoding some crazy because I do not know how to do any of that. So gonna try to figure that out, because that is what life is about. What did we say yesterday? If you choose comfort, you don't grow. You should do things that scare you or make you uncomfortable. You should do things that you don't know how to do, because that's how you learn how to do things. If you keep doing things you know how to do, you will never grow. And that is something I'm telling you guys, because that is what I'm trying to tell myself, and why I'm trying to be like, you know what? If other people have figured out how to make a YouTube, I can figure out how to make a YouTube. Period.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna miss Lana. Hopefully this isn't the last time we'll see her. Hopefully she'll be on with me in the future. But we're very excited for her to start her new venture and focus more on content and all of that. I will still be around. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Take care. If I don't see you out of this platform, then take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.